Tonight we crack open Old Tub Bottled in Bond. Welcome to the show. Well, I can tell you, I have seen the Old Tub on a bottom shelf so many times I can't count. And every time I would pass it up. And then I saw a review, I don't know, it was several months back on YouTube. And they actually said the Old Tub was pretty good as far as a bargain bourbon went. I didn't realize at the time that it's bottled in bond, so I mean, it's 4 years. It is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. And it's going to be 100 proof, which is, you know, right in my wheelhouse. And although it's a Jum Beam product, I mean, there are some Jum Beam products I liked. I thought the Repeal batch was a really good bourbon for the price. And the Jum Beam single barrel is actually pretty good. I mean, it's not my favorite single barrel, but for the $40-ish, $39, somewhere in there, price, I thought it was an excellent single barrel. I mean, you get what you pay for, right? So Old Tub being in, I think it was the low 20s, and I'll put the price I paid for on the bottom of the screen. I know it was somewhere in the 20s. And it's always on the bottom shelf for some reason. It doesn't look like a bad bottle, although it kind of looks like a screw cap there. It's actually a cork. It's a synthetic cork. I mean, it's not a fancy top or anything. The label's not fancy. But, I mean, unfiltered for more robust flavor, it says. And I won't read all the information on the back, but it's kind of an old-fashioned bottle with old-fashioned labels. And if you go to the website, jumbeam.com, and you can find Old Tub in there. And the thing I've kind of laughed at is that it says on the website, limited edition. Since when is it a limited edition? 100 proof bonded bourbon inspired by the oldest brand from the Beam family. And if you go down a little further, go past the tasting notes, which is nice they do that for such an inexpensive bourbon. They talk about this was the most interesting part. It says, before Jum Beam bourbon, the Beam family made Old Tub, an unfiltered bonded bourbon which was the foundation for what would become the world's #1 bourbon. This limited edition offering is a tribute to that groundbreaking whiskey. And I won't bother reading the rest, but a lot of people like you may be wondering, like I was, should I even bother picking this up? See what the nose thinks. All right, I'm picking up some proof, an ethanol kind of smell, a little bit. Certainly oak. Not very sweet at all. I don't pick up any fruit. Yeah, not a whole lot of aroma there that I really care for. Cheers. Well, they're right about one thing. There's not a whole lot of sweet to it. Definitely oak forward, definitely grain forward. And I don't know what the mash bill is. They say in the writing of the tasting notes, this unique bourbon has tasting notes include oak, they got that right, complemented along with grain and a warm caramel. Let's take another sip and see if we can figure out what the finish is like. It doesn't really get better on the second sip, folks. I'm sorry. It doesn't. It's still a little bit of ethanol taste to it. That Jum Beam, that unique Jum Beam flavor is there. And I don't think it's too proofy. Although the oak is predominant in it, I don't necessarily think it's a bad oak. It's not a sweet oak. It's more like a savory oak. And there's really not much caramel or caramel to speak of on the second sip. It would be a good mixer, good in a cocktail, I think, because there's not a lot of predominant flavors other than the oak. And so if you add something sweet to it like ginger ale or grenadine or something, then that would kind of take that down a little bit. And you still get the bourbon flavor. And if you don't mind the Jum Beam uniqueness, then it's Jum Beam, guys. I think this would make a good mixer. I think it would be good in a cocktail. Let's take one more sip and we'll go to final thoughts. Final thoughts. Well, I can tell you that the Old Tub is a quintessential Jum Beam product. That Jum Beam flavor comes through. You don't get the boldness or the sweetness of the single barrel, which is really twice the price for the most part. You don't even really get the flavor that I got out of the Jum Beam Repeal batch, which is a lower priced product everywhere I see it. I think it typically is like, around $19, $17 or $19, and this is low 20s. So in that respect, I'm a little disappointed that there wasn't more to it, because it is a 4-year Kentucky bourbon, bottled in bond. But to me, it doesn't taste like a 4-year Kentucky bourbon. It tastes like something else. So if I had to compare it, the easiest thing to compare it to would be the Jum Beam Repeal batch, which I think is a better flavor, a better product, and a better value. Now, this also is a limited edition or special release, or whatever you want to call it. This says right there on the bottle, limited edition. I see it in every Total Wine I go in. I don't know if only Total Wine has it, but they've been selling it for $15.99. I would drink this any day over the Old Tub. Any day. It's a better product. It's got more flavor, more depth to it. So that brings us to our ranking system, 1 through 5, 1 being the highest, 5 being the lowest. Drink it only if it's free. And I'm going to do a first on the show. I'm going to give it a level 5. I don't think it's worth borrowing it from a friend, assuming a friend even has it. Why? Because for $22, $23, you can get much better products. Add a couple dollars to it and get you an Early Times. Or get you the Repeal batch if you can find it. I think the Jum Beam Black Label, I actually think that was better than this Old Tub. And it wasn't that long ago that I had that. I had it in the Mini Bar Wars. So, not a fan. Drink it only if it's free. Level 5, my strongest non-recommendation. Sorry, Jum Beam, you got better products. It gives me no satisfaction to give a level 5. I have a few other level 5s, I just haven't reviewed them. I've got older bourbons that never hit a first pour that were level 5. I'm looking at them right now. This is a level 5. I'll come back to it after a few weeks after it's opened up and see if it improves, but I really can't recommend it. You can find much better for the money. So we hope you will like this video and comment and share. And if you're an Old Tub fan, that's great, because it is a very affordable bourbon. But if you're thinking about buying it, get a few more quarters and find an early times. I think you'll thank me for it. So, as always, never drink and drive. Please drink responsibly, and we'll see you next time.